So the time is 6 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a brief pause with the music. So you're going to start by coming to a comfortable seat on your mat. You can always sit up on a blanket if you'd like. We're going to do a Forrest yoga based class tonight. So Forrest yoga is a lineage of yoga that was started by Anna Forrest. She is still alive and well and kicking and quite intense. It is a vinyasa base, a lot of alignment. My 200-hour training was done actually with a Forrest-based training. So a lot of things that we do, like dolphin pose, actually L handstand at the wall, are all Forrest yoga moves. So also like lifting and flaring your toes, that kind of stuff that I often cue, are all from the origins of Forrest yoga. So we're going to do a little bit more intense and traditional Forrest yoga tonight, which typically means also a lot of abs and then a pretty intense pranayama practice or breathing practice to start. All right, so switch the cross of your legs. We're going to begin our class with pranayama, so breathing. We're going to do 50 rounds of Kapalabhati. So Kapalabhati breathing is that quick, sharp exhale through your nose where you draw the navel back and kind of pump your belly, almost like bellows. You're focusing on the exhale. After we do 50 rounds, then we'll do Uddiyana. And Uddiyana Bandha, Bandha is a bind, is a practice where you do a inhale, full inhale, and then we'll exhale completely, hold on empty, slightly chuck our chin, sit up tall, and it lets your diaphragm start to flare, compressing your digestive organs. Sometimes you can get it too when you swallow. So you feel this lock right here, right at your diaphragm, or sometimes what I refer to as your solar core. So I'm going to just quickly demonstrate what that looks like. So it's a belly move. You let your belly go. So you notice that my ribs were kind of flaring out and then my stomach was concave. So it's a sucking in. So again, I'll show you. It's a deep exhale out. Open mouth. And you let the belly go before you inhale. So we'll do that after 50 rounds of Kapalabhati. That type of movement of locking is actually what can get us a little bit of more buoyancy when we go into inversions. I also sometimes cue it when you're transitioning from downward facing dog forward into Uttanasana forward fold. It can give you that little extra lift. Okay. So now that you know where we're going, come to a comfortable seat. Hands on knees so that you have something to grasp onto. And then let your eyes come to close. And we'll start by just tuning into our breath, seeing where it is as you enter today's class. Notice if you're breathing through your mouth, and if you are, just gently seal your lips. So instead, your breath goes in and out through your nostrils. And then start to listen for the sound of your breath. See if you can start to exaggerate that sound that oceanic sound of your breath by pulling it across the back of your throat as you inhale, and then finding a slight restriction in your throat as you exhale. Now, I'd like you to count to yourself how long your inhale is and how long your exhale is. Generally, we rush a little bit more through our exhale to get to our next inhale breath. So see if you can use that counting to start to extend your exhale to meet the length of your inhale. Again, listening for that oceanic sound of your breath. If you started to slump forward in your seat, then begin to build your spine, stacking each vertebrae on top of the other, gently pressing the crown of your head up and your tailbone down. Start to draw your shoulder blades together and down your back so that your shoulders aren't cramping up on your earlobes, but instead there's lots of movement and space. Right. And then slowly bring your feet out in front of you into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So you're going to press the soles of your feet together, knees are out and slightly lifted. If this is uncomfortable, you can always take a block or two and set it down underneath your knees, or you can just come back into Sukhasana, a comfortable seated position, your choice. If you are in Baddha Konasana, I want you to bring your heels in close enough that you can grab onto either your shins or maybe your ankles, still sitting up nice and tall. We're going to move into our 50 rounds of Kapalabhati breathing or skull shining. So you can imagine as you're starting to pump your navel in, it's almost like blowing air on a fire, building this energy right up into the skull. So I want you to kind of think about that as you start, and I'll guide us in. Exhale all of the air out. Inhale. Full breath. Sit up tall. Exhale all of your air out through your nose. I want you to inhale just halfway. Pause. Sharp, quick exhales through your nose. Pumping your navel back towards your spine. You can find a cadence that works for you, so it doesn't have to match me. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Now inhale fully. Grip onto your shins or your ankles. Open mouth, exhale. Seal your lips. Draw your diaphragm up and in, flare your ribs. Again, you can kind of swallow with no air in your lungs. That might help you catch that bind, Uddiyana Bandha. You'll notice a little concavity also right at the base of your throat. That's Jalandhara Bandha, and that one kind of automatically happens as you find Uddiyana Bandha. And then you release your belly. and then take a breath in. We'll do that 2 more times, Uddiyana Bandha. Exhale. Take a full breath in. Hold on to something. Pull your spine tall. Open mouth. Exhale. Hold on empty. Letting your belly release before you take your breath in. Take another full round of breath. Again, I'll demonstrate what that looks like. The gripping onto your hand, onto your legs will help you get a little bit of traction. All right, so you'll inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Belly. And then take a breath in. So you might not have gotten it, especially if it's your first time practicing with Uddiyana Bandha. Don't worry about it. But it's something kind of fun to try. And it's also really good to flush out the blood in the digestive organs. There's a lot of compression that happens there. All right, so back in our Uddiyana Bandha, Baddha Konasana. And if you're not there, you're in Sukhasana, then do try and make your way into bound angle. Feet can be really forward if that's more comfortable. You're gonna lift tall with your spine and then exhale, take a forward fold. Now, if you can grab onto your ankles, then move your hands down to your feet. Let your back round and pull your forehead down towards the inside of your toes for Tarasana or star pose, mega star, omega star. It's a bound angle with a forward fold. You'll start to feel a very intense opening on the inside of your thighs. Breathe in. Exhale, maybe pull yourself a little bit closer towards the inside of your feet. Inhale and exhale. And release. Inhale, slowly come up. Move your hands to the outside of your knees and gently close them. If you're sitting on a blanket, move that off to the side and come to roll down onto your back. We're going to start in on our ab work today. So Forrest abs are done with the breath, very slow. All right, so we're going to start with a gentle twist. You're going to bring the block and squeeze it between your knees. Then lift your knees up to a 90-degree bend and flex your toes back. So you've got 90-90 at ankles and at knees, and then knees are directly over your hips. Take your palms, interlace them, use your thumbs to cradle and gently lift the back of your neck. Curl your elbow tips around so you can see them in your peripheral vision. Squeezing the block, inhale. Exhale, pull your knees straight up towards the ceiling. So it's a very small movement, but there's a little lift in the pelvis. Keep that engagement, inhale. Exhale, slowly curl up and bring both elbow tips to the left. Now, as you do that, you actually lift both shoulder blades off the mat. So even your left shoulder is lifted. Inhale, come back to center. Try and keep the top of your shoulders off the mat. Squeeze the block, lift your knees. Exhale, curl up, and then both elbow tips to the right side. Using your palms to gently lift and elongate your spine, draw your navel down. Slow, long inhale. Come back to center, squeeze the block, lift your knees. Exhale, curl straight up, and then both elbow tips over to your knees. Keep squeezing that block. So if I was there and I tried to move this block out between your knees, it would not come. It would stay put. Inhale, come to center again, keeping the very top of your shoulders elevated. Squeeze, lift the block. Keep your toes flexed back. See if you can spread them. Exhale, curl up and over to the right. Slow inhale, come back to center. Whew. And then slowly lower your upper body down. Bring your arms down to your side. Take the block and then remove it. Set it off to the side. Your knees are going to open. Shine the arches of your feet up towards the ceiling. All right, interlace your hands again, this time taking the opposite finger on the bottom. Again, nestle your thumbs around the base of your skull. Wrap your palms around so you're supporting and elongating your neck. And think about flaring the inside of your calves, arches of your feet up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, curl up and through. And as you curl up and through, you want to think about anterior tilt of the pelvis. So as though you could draw your tailbone up and through, and you're pressing your low back down. Inhale, lower down halfway, and you might notice that your feet lower down just a little bit. Exhale, curl up. Gaze through right across your pelvis. Navel again goes down. Inhale. Shine the arches of your feet up. Maybe spread your toes even more. Exhale, curl up. And inhale. Come all the way down. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees. Gently bring them into close. And then bend your knees. Press your feet down into the mat. Bring your hands down by your side. Walk your heels in, gaze down at your femurs. You want them to be running parallel. Reach down for the outside of your mat. Grip it with both hands and inhale, slowly lift up into Saptu Bandha bridge pose. Press down through the big toe mounds of your feet so that your knees slightly draw in towards each other. Roll your spine up, draw your shoulder blades together under your back, and then lift your chin slightly so it's not resting on your chest. All right, see if you can keep pressing the balls of your feet down, but curl and lift your toes up off of the mat. Squeeze the mat between both of your palms and pull it apart as though you could rip it in two. If anybody rips it in two, take a picture, send it to me. I'll send you a new mat. Try and pull it apart that hard. Feel your triceps engage. Press more through your feet. Lift your hips up. Gentle pressure at the back of your head, pushing down into the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale. Draw your knees a little bit more forward, but don't let your head move. One more. Inhale. See your ribs expand. Release the mat with your hands. Let them slide out. Exhale. Lower slowly down to the mat. Walk your feet out wide as your mat. And then drop both knees over to the left side. Reach your right arm up so you feel a stretch from the outside of that right hip point all the way up. Exhale, come down. Slide both knees back up to the ceiling. And then exhale over to the right side. Let your knees settle as far down as they can. Keep pressing that left knee down towards the mat. And then lift your left arm up overhead. Pull your left side body long. Anchor the inside of that left knee down. Take one more deep breath in. And out. Release. Bring both hands down. Rock both knees back up. All right. Come back. Setting up into your bridge pose. This time you're going to take that block. Again, this can also be a pillow. Bring it down between your knees and squeeze in. Walk your heels in so that they're directly behind your hips. You can use your fingers to tap the back of your heels and then grip the side of the mat. Press your feet down. Inhale. Lift your hips high. All right. Press down through the balls of your feet. Walk your shoulders underneath your chest. Pull the mat away. Squeeze that block. Now lift your left heel up off the mat. Keep squeezing that block in. Lift your left foot forward. Point through that foot and then flare your toes back. So it's halfway between a point and a flex. Do your best to keep your left hip as high as your right. Keep active through those left toes so that the whole left leg is turning on, and press down more through the right foot. Take a deep breath in. Woo! Exhale, bring that left foot down. Press down through both feet. Lift your hips high. Squeeze the block between the mat between your palms and open your chest. And then squeeze your knees into that block or pillow. Lift your right heel up. Keep your whole body engaged. Start to reach that right foot forward. Flare the toes. Point through the foot. Press down more through that left leg to keep both hips even in height. Deep breath in and out. One more time. Inhale. Lift that right hip a little bit higher. Don't let it sag. And exhale. Bring the right foot down to meet the left. Woo. Lift both hips high. And then release the mat between your hands. Slowly roll down. Take the block. Move it off to the side. And then slowly come up into all fours. Coming from all fours down onto your forearm, we're going to move into dolphin pose. So you want to spread your palms down into the mat. Line yourself up to a distance that you think is shoulder width distance between your forearms. And then grab opposite bicep, give it a good squeeze. Yeah, nice. From there, release your squeeze, bring your palms back down. You want forearms to be parallel. You want to try and line up your middle finger so it's an extension of your forearm, and then really spread your fingers from there. Gaze back to your knees, tuck your toes, then pressing into your palms, lift up into dolphin. Once you get up, press your finger pads down, pull your elbow tips towards each other, and drop your gaze back behind you. So the crown of your head stays lifted. Keep a gentle bend in your knees. Inhale, press through your forearms to draw your chest slightly through and hips high. Exhale, draw your navel into your spine, walk your toes in, creating a deeper forward fold. Do your best not to let the weight shift forward, but instead keep pressing your forearms to shift your gaze and your chest back. Inhale, walk your toes in now. Exhale, let your heels drop down. Inhale, lift heels high. Walk your toes in. Keep pressing your forearms down. Exhale, drop your heels down towards the mat. Keep spreading your fingers. Inhale, press through your forearm. Relax your neck. Maybe even close your eyes, finding that deepest forward fold. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, maintaining an integrity in this posture, an integration of all of the muscles working here, with the exception of your neck hanging the very base now of your spine. Feel your shoulders expand. Breathe into your upper back. Exhale. Feel that energy drop down the back of your legs, opening up your hamstrings. Keep spreading your palms. Inhale. Press your palms, press your forearms down. Exhale, gentle bend in the knees. Draw your heels closer down to the mat. We'll take one more breath here. A little burning in the forearms, I know. Inhale. Exhale. Let your knees come all the way down to the mat and out wide. Bring your big toes together to touch. Press back, child's pose. Whew. Walk your hands forward. Let your forehead come down to the mat. And then gently rock from side to side on your forehead. Releasing your chest down. Maybe coming into stillness. Take another breath in and out. All right, look at your thumbs. Inhale, slowly come up. We're going to shift just briefly over to the wall. So you want to just slide your mat so that the base of it comes across your baseboard. And shift the camera angle. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So we're going to move into L handstand at the wall for 10 breaths. If you practiced this maybe between last week and this week, hopefully you didn't practice too hard. You still got some shoulder strength, but you might have an advantage. So you're going to sit your hips back as close as you can to the wall. And then with your heels, rub them into your mat to make a good little mark. Then come to all fours. Plant the heels of your hands on that mark. Now, as you get up into all fours or the L handstand position, you might notice that it feels tight. You want to walk your hands forward. Don't do it. This is the perfect measurement of your body to get you in that L so that wrists, shoulders, and then hips line up vertically. So hands up against that mark, heels of the palms right there, and then stack so you're about shoulder width distance. Tuck your toes, lift your knees up into a very tight down dog, and then gazing back, keeping your palms pressing and your arms engaged, you're gonna bend one knee and plant it hip height. Start to press that foot into the wall or your door so that both feet are hip height. Now you can start by having a gentle bend and then starting to work yourself towards straight legs. The straighter your legs, the more your hips are going to lift right over your palms. Gaze is back at the base of the wall so that your whole spine is nice and long. Keep pressing your feet into the wall. Take an inhale and exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees slowly. Come down. Bring your knees down. Untuck your toes. Sit back. Palms on your thighs. Relax your shoulders. Take 5 breaths. Eyes closed. Inhale 2. Exhale, draw your shoulders back over your hips. Inhale 3. Maybe roll your wrists, making a fist. Exhale. Reverse the roll. Inhale 4. Exhale. Palms together and then roll your wrists. Inhale 5. Exhale, reverse the roll of your wrists. Okay, arms come down, gently open your eyes. Yogi's choice. You can do L handstand at the wall again, maybe working on lifting a leg up if that felt good, or come to face your wall, and we're going to hold or try to hold our hands down for 10 breaths. All right, so if you're doing L handstand, go ahead and set yourself up. And if you're doing the kick up, I'll walk you through it. Place your palms down on the mat, fingers towards the wall, 6 to 8 inches away from the base. Lift up into a downward facing dog, gazes back towards your toes. Inhale, walk yourself forward. So you stack shoulders over wrists and hips as high as you can. Take an inhale. Now exhale all of the air out. Like we did in Uddiyana Bandha. Hold. Lift one leg super straight. Bend your standing knee and then pick up. Once you get up, if it takes you a turn or two, that's fine. Press your hands into the mat. So you can get a little lazy here. Instead, integrate. Press your hands down. Draw your pelvis for your hips. And you can also play with lifting one or maybe both feet off of the floor or off the wall. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep pressing your hands into the floor. Exhale. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly come down. Again, bring your knees down. Untuck your toes. Sit back over your heels. And then just gently wiggle your arms, shaking them out. Shake out your shoulders. Roll your shoulder back and then forward. And then in your seat, lift both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, take eagle arms right under left. Grab palms or wrists. Draw your elbow tips forward. Take a deep inhale. And stretch your upper back. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, release. Shake your arms. Wiggle your fingers. Inhale, draw your arms up. Exhale, left arm under right. Eagle arms. Grab or match palms. Inhale, pull your shoulders away from your spine, fingertips up. Let your chin drop between both of your arms. Again, deep breath in and out. Then relax your arms. Wiggle your fingers, slowly come forward and up, and you can move your mat away from the wall. Come back into wherever you like to practice in your space. All right. Into all fours to start. Tuck your toes and lift up into a short down dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale again, all of the air out. Hold on empty, bend your knees, and try hopping forward, even if you've never tried it before. With no air in your lungs, see if you get a little bit more lift. Yeah, nice. Re-straighten out this. Whoop, camera. Wah! Stop moving. All right, let's do a little flow. Inhale, press into your shins, lift halfway. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Sweep your arms out wide. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And then exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. So we're gonna do a Surya Namaskar B pose. From here, arms up, feet hip width distance apart. You're gonna bend your knees, sit down and back. Utkatasana. Slightly find an anterior tilt in your pelvis. Most people need that adjustment so that you lengthen out your lumbar spine and draw your navel up and in. Reach your arms up. Imagine you still have that block between your knees and draw them towards each other so they stay hip width distance apart. Inhale. Exhale. Uttanasana fold. Straighten your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant both hands and step back into plank. Inhale, rock forward, and then exhale, lower down all the way. Hands stay under your shoulders, untuck your toes. Inhale, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Elevate your gaze so that the bottom of your chin is equal with the floor, parallel. Exhale, lower down, tuck your toes, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Keep your hips square. Bend your knee, draw your thigh to your side ribs, and then rock forward into plank. Pull that leg up into your core, and then step your left foot by your left thumb. Gaze long down towards your right leg. Step it forward and a little bit out to the right side. Then pivot on the ball of the foot. Press the heel down. Warrior one is what we're moving into. Draw your torso up off of that front leg. So hips and shoulders are facing forward and then arms up. You want that back leg to be straight and strong, pressing into the mat. If this doesn't feel good, then you can always lift it up, coming into a high lunge. Fingertips high. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Sink a little bit deeper into your front knee. Keep pressing through the outside edge of your right foot, your back foot. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands down to heart center. Let your thumbs rest on your sternum. Tip forward. Reach the crown of your head forward. Inhale. Find a line of energy from the crown of your head all the way out to that back heel. Breathe in and then exhale. Start to pivot around that long line of energy. Inhale, come back straight, gazing down just in front of those left toes. Exhale, pivot, opening to the left side, taking a gentle twist. One more time, inhale. Keep forward in that lunge. Exhale, twist. And then this time you can bring that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Take your right hand, make it into a fist, and then like rock, paper, scissors, left arm over top. Press your left hand into that bottom wrist and draw your left shoulder back. Relax your ear down towards your right shoulder. Maybe try and close your eyes if you want to work a little bit with balance. Or let your eyes just come to a halfway close. Do your best to lift your torso off of that bottom leg. Breathe in through your nose and out. One more time, inhale. Exhale, slowly bring both hands down to frame your left foot. And then take your right hand, so the inside hand, and walk it a little bit more forward. Pivot on those back toes so the heel is lifted. And then on both toes, so they face towards the outside of the mat. So again, what that transition looks like, from warrior one, you're gonna lift the back heel and then rotate on the front heel, back ball of the foot. So both toes point towards the left side of the mat. Press your right hand down into the mat. Draw your left knee in for lounge lunge. Kind of feels good, kind of feels insane. Keep pressing that Right palm down, drawing your left inner knee towards your forehead. Right leg stays strong and straight, and you feel a good stretch and pull along the outside of your right hip. Breathe in and out. One more time, inhale and exhale. From here, slowly bring your right hand down, pivot back so that you're in a lunge position, both hands framing your left foot and right leg, back leg, heel is lifted. And you're going to slowly lower down your right knee. Shift a little bit forward in your lunge. If you need to, you can cushion underneath that right knee. Slowly walk your hands up to that left leg. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. And then start to bend your right knee, reaching back with your right hand, coming into a quad stretch. Whew. Gently pull your right heel in towards your glute. The more you bend that knee and rock forward, the less weight is actually on that right kneecap, and the more it's on the head of your right quad. Use your left hand to stabilize you, pressing into that thigh to draw that right shoulder back around. Then you can keep that left hand on that thigh or reach it back for your foot, the right foot. Chest is open, forward. Take 3 breaths here. Again, maybe letting the eyes close halfway. Inhale. Fill up. Engage your core. Slow trickle out of your exhale. Draw your left knee a little bit more forward. Last time, inhale. And this time, slowly exhale, release your right leg. Let those toes come down. Plant both hands down. All right, lift the right knee up. Step your left foot back. Come into a lunge. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Bend both knees. Reach back for the outside of your ankles. Moving into Dhanurasana, floor bow. Flex your toes. Walk your knees in close and gaze down at the front of your mat. Then squeezing your knees together as though you still have that block, start to kick your feet up and your ankles against your hands. Press your low belly actively into the mat. Inhale. Exhale, pull your thighs up off of the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, press your feet up towards the ceiling. Keep those toes flat. Whew, lots of work. Inhale. Exhale, slowly melt down. No rest for the weary. Hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes. Inhale, press up and back. Downward facing dog. Spread your palms down into the mat. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, bend your right knee, glue your thigh to your outer right rib, shift forward into plank. Then set your right foot down by your right thumb. A nice long lunge. Inhale, look back at your left foot, step it forward and a little bit out, and then heel down to the inside. So your toes are a little bit out towards like 10 o'clock on a clock face, a little bit out to the left side. Pull your right hip back. Reach your arms forward and then inhale, lift your thighs or your ribs rather off your thighs. Lift your thighs too, activate those legs. Press your left leg back, very straight. Arms up. Draw your navel in. Think about stitching your ribs together so they're not flaring out and you're not, just relaxing into your low back, but instead your core is engaged and straight. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Tip forward just enough so that you feel like you have a nice, long, diagonal line from that back heel up and out through the crown of your head. Inhale. Draw your knee a little bit more forward. And then exhale, pivot. Like you're pivoting around a pole. Inhale, gaze back down just in front of the right toes. And then exhale, pivot. Last time, inhale. And exhale, pivot. This time, bring your left elbow down to the outside of your right knee. Make a fist. And then take the right hand like paper over the rock. Press it into that left fist and deepen your twist. Draw your navel up and in off of your right thigh. And then exhale, let your left ear drop down. Keep pressing actively through your left leg, your back leg. Inhale, and then exhale. 2 more breaths, doing your best to relax your neck. Keep drawing that right knee forward. Last time, inhale. Exhale, release both hands down to frame your right foot. And then lift your left heel up. So you're in a nice long lunge. Arms are supporting around your front foot. And then you're gonna move your left hand a little bit forward. Pivot on your front heel, toes out to the right side. And then drop your left heel down, flex that foot. Take your right hand, bring it around the outside of your right knee, and then let your hips sag down towards the mat. So for me, my hip stays lifted. You could let it come down if you have your left hand out a little bit further. So this will bring a nice tug and pull into the fascia all around that left hip, even up into your left side body. See if you can draw the inside of your right knee in towards your forehead. Keep pressing the left palm down into the mat. And you can let your left shoulder shrug up towards your ear. Continue to breathe here slowly. And slowly come out, press into your left hand, pivot your right toes back forward, and lift your left knee up. Hands frame the right foot. Then slowly bring your left knee down. Walk both hands up onto your right thigh. And then come forward into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. I went for a trail run today, so I'm making a lot of moans. I'm sorry. I'm like, I feel this. I hope you feel this too in your legs. And it feels good and then also just hard. All right, shift forward. Keep your right hand on your right thigh and then just bend that back knee, reach back, capture your left foot. Slowly draw yourself forward and pull your left heel in towards your glute. Use your right palm to direct the right knee to stay drawing in. Find a spot that's not moving in front of you and stay with your hand on your front thigh or reach around and capture your foot, gently drawing it in so both hands can be back. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe letting your eyes drop down a little bit to a half gaze. Inhale, shoulders together and down your back. Exhale. One last time, deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly release that left knee. Bring both hands down to frame the front foot. Lift your back knee up and step your right foot back. Plank. Take an inhale, rock forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. All right. Bend both knees. Second round of Dhanurasana, floor bow. Reach back. Catch to the outside of your ankles. And if you're like, you know what? I want to go a little bit deeper. You can reach for the inside of your ankles. Thumbs will come up into the arches of your foot. Draw your knees together. Flex your feet. Slowly kick your feet into your fingertips and up towards the ceiling, keeping a flex, and then gaze down so that your last 7 vertebrae, the cervical spine, is an extension of your thoracic spine. Inhale, press your belly into the mat, draw your knees together. Exhale. Engage through your legs, press through the bottom of your feet up. Inhale. Last exhale. Hold. Take a deep breath in. Slowly let your hands slip. Exhale, press your palms into the mat, tuck your toes. Inhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Spread your palms wide, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees gently, let your heels drop down towards the mat. Inhale, press into your palms, lift your hips high. Exhale, heels down, relax your neck. Last inhale. This time lift your gaze up to your thumbs. Bend your knees, exhale all the air out. Hold on empty. Take a little hop or several, front of your mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips down and back. Inhale, sit up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Squeeze your knees towards each other, drop your hips down. Lift your gaze to the forward right in front of you. Inhale, exhale, drop your hips a little bit more. Move the weight into your heels. Press your palms towards each other and then maybe lift your thumbs back. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Then pressing into your feet. Inhale, come to standing. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands together to heart center. Whew. I think we need just a little bit of hamstring stretching. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and step your left leg back. Come into a nice long lunge. Now, if you have a block, you can bring that block to the inside of your right foot. If you know you have really tight hamstrings, you can also do that with a water bottle. I want you to glue your thighs onto your rib. And then instead of thinking about just straightening that right leg, think about pulling your hips up into a pyramid pose. Now, both toes are pointing forward, and you want them about hip width distance apart on the mat. And you want that right hip to match the left as far as height. So from here, come back again down into your lunge. Keep that left leg super straight, left heel lifted. Glue your right thigh or ribs onto your thigh, and then think about pulling those right hips up at a diagonal. Planting both hands to frame around the right foot, or hands can be on the inside of that foot on a block or a water bottle, and it can be any height. But we want to keep that fold. So don't worry about being lifted halfway, but instead thighs and ribs meet. So maybe you don't get that right leg all the way to straight. And if your right leg does get straight, you don't lock it out. Instead, keep a gentle bend. Move your gaze down to the mat, maybe eyes closed. Another 3 breaths. Exhale. Let your neck release even more. Inhale, pull the right hip up and back. Exhale, let your ribs rest more on that front thigh. Inhale, press through that back left leg. Keep your left thigh lifted. Exhale. Then bending into your right leg. We'll just switch it out so you can either come forward and step back or step back and left leg forward, or you could do a little kick switch. You've got just, some extra energy you need to burn out. Right, left leg forward, come again deep into your lunge. Right leg super strong, pull in a block if you'd like to. Inhale, exhale, start to press that left hip up and back, keeping your ribs glued like Velcro to the inside of that quad. Come back forward, inhale. Exhale, pull the left hip up and back. And then notice one hip is higher than the other. Place a palm maybe on your sacrum. See if it's nice and even. You can put a block there, see if it stays, or a ball. Maybe a cork ball, something that's not going to come crashing down. And then keeping a gentle bend in that left knee so you're not locking it out. Doing your best to keep a fold over that extended leg. Drop your head down towards the mat. Inhale, pull that left hip back. Exhale, relax your ribs more into that front thigh. Inhale, right leg is strong and straight. Exhale, maybe bend your elbows just slightly. Relax your neck. Then inhale. Pull that left hip slightly up. Let the right hip drop just a little to keep your hips square. Exhale. Then inhale. Bend back into your left leg. And then you're going to move the left hand to the inside of your left foot. Pivot on your left heel. Toes come out. Both hands are planted at the front of your mat. Inhale. Exhale. Rock forward. Step your right foot forward. Coming into Malasana. Toes out, heels in. Drop your hips down. So your hips might drop really far. You might be a little bit more lifted. Your heels also might be lifted off the mat. So it's all variations of the same pose. Rock a little bit side to side. And then wherever you are, finding your balance, especially if your heels are lifted, you're going to press your elbows into the inside of your knees. Draw your palms together. Lift your gaze. And have a nice long back. Exhale. Take an inhale. And exhale. Coming down. Okay, good. Coming down into Shavasana. All right, hands forward and then move them back. Gently lower yourself down onto the mat. Extend both legs. Draw your left knee in, give it a gentle squeeze. Quickly just draw it over to the right side, taking a supine twist, extending your left arm out. Take an inhale and exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Extend the left leg, draw the right knee in, give it a gentle squeeze. Exhale, bring it over to the right side, extend the right palm out. Supine twist, the knee might not come all the way down to the ground. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come back into center. Extend both legs. Lift your hips up and then center them on the mat. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, let your upper body melt down into the mat. Closing your eyes. Letting your legs relax, toes drop out. Return your breath to its natural cadence. Notice the points where your body is touching the mat. The heaviness and the release in those spots. And slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your elbows and roll your wrists out. Internally and then external. Gently draw your knees up, plant your feet down on the ground, and then roll to one side. Slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And switch the cross of your legs. Put your hands onto your knees so that you can pull your chest up and through, keeping a nice long spine. And bring your hands together, thumbs resting on your sternum. Inhale, draw your arms up, thumbs to forehead. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.